So now let's talk about the universal modus tollens. So again, this is similar to the format for modus tollens, if you remember, but now it has a universal statement in it. So for all x, if px, then qx, not qa for a particular, therefore not PA. And just like before, modus tollens was valid, universal modus tollens is also a valid argument. So let's look at some examples involving universal modus tollens. Let's rewrite the following argument using quantifiers, variables, and predicate symbols. Is this argument valid? Justify your answer. So let's look at what the argument's going to be. It's going to be one kind of similar to what we saw before. All human beings are mortal. Zeus is not mortal. Therefore, Zeus is not human. So, we need to identify again our objects. And what are we saying about these objects? Well, we're saying that they're mortal, that they're human. So those are going to be my predicates. H of x will say x is human. M of x will say x is mortal. And then the one particular object I'm talking about, the one is Zeus, so I'll use a capital Z to represent the particular object, which is Zeus. And now let's take our argument here and translate it into symbols. So all, that means universal for all x. Human beings are mortal. So if you have a human being, then it's mortal. So it'll be if h of x, then m of x. Zeus is not mortal, so that would be not m of z. Z represents Zeus. Therefore, Zeus is not human, so it would be not h of z. So if you look, this matches up with our format for universal modus tollens. So this has the form of universal modus tollens. And if you remember, we said that that format was valid, that kind of argument was valid, so therefore it is valid. All right, let's look at one more example here related to this. So let's write the conclusion that can be inferred using universal modus tollens. So it's going to say all professors are absent-minded, which I hope is not true since I'm a professor, but anyways, Tom Hutchins is not absent-minded. Therefore, blank. Okay. So again, it might help if you translate this into symbols, but look at our first premise here. This is our universal statement. If something's a professor, then they're absent-minded. And then this one is not, and Tom Hutchins is not absent-minded, so that would be not the Q of X part. So then what goes here is not P of A, right? So if we're following the format, it would be Tom Hutchins is not a professor.